Real eyes recognize real lies. That's a fact. Like, one of the biggest things I think that I struggled with over the last 20 years is that when I closed off my natural abilities as an intuitive, I also suppressed my abilities when it comes to my third eye and using my inner voice and my intuition to have that kind of discernment to see beyond illusions. I didn't understand my abilities. I was fearful of them and I chose to cut them off. People had recommended that I do that because I was struggling at the time to really understand them. And so I did. But that came at a great cost because when I chose, and it was a voluntary consent to shut off my abilities, I left myself pretty much exposed to any and everything, including dark energy, to really move against me without any kind of protection or shield, And so, a lesson learned, I couldn't possibly understand these things without, guidance now that I have received that guidance. But the message is that you when you use your inner voice, when you use your discernment, when your third eye is activated, it gets much easier to recognize a lie. Much easier. It's much easier to see through the illusions. And if you take your spirituality seriously and you integrate healing somatic practices, integration practices in your everyday life, you will also learn to shield yourself, to hold, to pause whenever anything new is presented to you. A knee jerk response is probably the worst thing you can do when you are regulated and disciplined. So if a new person presents in your life, and I'm sorry, I got this food I was eating before I came on, y'all. But a new person, a new situation, a new opportunity, a new risk comes into your life, it is much better for you to pause, to think about it, to reflect, and to ask yourself, you know, what is the pattern? Like what is the behavior? What is this something for me or is it something related to someone else? Is it seemed rushed or does it seem like it's flowing? Just asking yourself all of these questions, even to just think through them before you respond or react, more likely. It's react, not respond. Because when you respond, it should be with that pause and then that very intentional direction of how you're going to move forward. And including if you don't put anything forward at all, like if you just decide to just completely not engage, that's also a decision too. I really want y'all to know, especially for those of you who are intuitive or who have tapped into your abilities to be intuitive, where you are in alignment or you're becoming in alignment with yourself and your higher self, and your intuition is strong. I really encourage you to continue to work with that in terms of discernment, to work with it, to do that pause, like I'm saying, to really think through. A person is saying all the good things. They seem right. They're saying all the good things and they present well, but are they performing versus is this who they really are? And the more healed that you become, the more in alignment with your true self that you become, the less likely it is that you're going to lie to yourself. Because a lot of times, a lot of the distortion and the illusions are the ones that we feed ourselves that stop us from being able to properly respond to certain situations that enter our lives because we have put on these tinted glasses to try to convince ourselves of the outcomes we would like to see. We get so stuck on the outcomes and our expectations that we won't acknowledge what's actually in front of us, the behavior, the patterns, the underlying agendas that we can pick up from the things they do, and as well from what we feel, the responses that our bodies are giving us with certain people. It could be that you get infections from certain people. You know what I'm saying? It could be that there's a smell with certain people. It could be that you're repulsed and you don't know why. It could be that certain people make you clench up, make your jaw clench. It could be that you start breathing faster around certain people. It could be that whenever you're around some people, you get really confused and anxious and chaotic, or they just trigger you. They just make you upset all the time and you don't even know why. Or it could be that they make you completely calm, that you feel completely at ease, you feel completely satisfied, that you feel like you can be yourself, like you feel like you don't have to hide anything about you. Either one. You could have any of these responses, and each one of these body signals is telling you a lot. In addition to the energy signals that you can feel from different people, the energy doesn't lie, y'all. And the more tapped in you become with yourself, with your inner voice, as well as reading your body and seeing the signals that your body is telling you about certain situations, whether or not you're in alignment or not, the better that you'll be to see through the lies. You will have clear eyes that can easily recognize the real lies that are in front of you, even if they're cloaked. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother. Shalane Tukai. Peace.